Welcome to another episode of Building Connections with Shailey Sharma, your mindful realtor. Today, I have a wonderful friend and a local business owner, Ken Thelen, on the show here. And Ken, welcome to Building Connections.
Thank you, Shailey. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm glad you're here. Quick question. Where are you situated? Where are you calling from right now?
All right. So I'm based here in Pikesville, Maryland, right in Baltimore County.
Okay, so you're not very far at all from Howard, which is where I'm at. So I know you and I have done some business together. But before we even begin what we've done, tell us a little bit about what is your business?
Well, I do real estate media, photography, video, 3D tours like Matterport. That might be a familiar term for a lot of realtors. I do that as well. And also do drone photography and video as part of that too, and other stuff as well. So it's basically to service the realtors for their media needs for their listings, and not only here in Baltimore County, but also the surrounding counties. I'm willing to travel up to.
Yes, I was going to say, because you've met me in Anne Arundel, you've come down to Howard. So I know you go wherever business takes you, of course. Right. Is there a particular radius that you cover? Like, would you say, 25 mile, 30 mile from Pikesville, or?
Well, if you go to my website on the homepage, there's like a service area map that's laid out on there, but I don't hold that as hard and fast. I'm willing to go an hour or so drive away from the Pikesville area. So that gets me out towards Westminster and Frederick area. I'll even go across the Bay Bridge just onto the eastern shore if necessary. Again, across the state line into Pennsylvania and down towards, certainly Annapolis in that region, closer to the DC area. So,
wow, you pretty much cover a lot. That's a large area. We love it.
Yeah, but that's okay. I enjoy the travel. As long as it's, like I said, I'll travel an hour. I've even done one or two shoots that were closer to almost 2 hours out, but that's rare and on an as needed. And I don't charge travel time for going that far. If it was further than that, then I would do it. But
did y'all hear that? So no travel is he's super affordable. Ken has been awesome. You have featured some of my listings and they have looked so good on the MLS. You make the houses look beautiful. And of course, we know that when we use you, our houses sell so quickly. So thank you for that service, Ken.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for those kind comments. That's good to know.
So tell me, or tell our viewers, I guess, why real estate photography, and how did you get started? What made you go into this profession?
Okay, well, I've been kind of like an amateur photographer for well over 10 years or so now, just for my own use. And I retired back in 2012, and just played around, and I was thinking, I wonder if there was a way to try to monetize, my interest in photography. So I realized, though, that, I'm being an engineer, okay, I'm not as creative artistically as a lot of photographers that are involved with like fine art photography, fashion, that sort of stuff. So I knew that wasn't an area I was going to try to compete in. And then I also knew that events like weddings and bar mitzvahs and those types of social photography events were just going to have way too much more stress than I was willing to deal with. Okay, so a lot
more people involved, and
right.
It can get But you've done those before, correct? Like as you were gaining.
No, never did a wedding or any of that stuff. No.
Okay.
So too many bridezillas, I understand, out there.
Oh my.
But so I just kept looking around, and then I stumbled across a webinar about real estate photography and watched that, and I said, wow, that seems to line up perfectly with what I'm looking for. You don't have to be artistic, just accurately represent what the rooms look like and how the rooms flow throughout a house. And there wasn't a lot. I already had just about all the equipment I needed to get started. So I said, well, okay, let's give this a try.
Wonderful. Okay. Yeah. And so when did you start your business? How long have you been in business now?
So in 2020, about May of 2020 is when I started the business and went from there.
Okay, so pretty much during COVID. You're a COVID business entrepreneur. That's how,
okay,
yeah. But there's always pre-COVID, and then of course there's COVID. During COVID, what we did, and then now we're into post-COVID, thankfully. Right. Okay, excellent. And what would customers say? Some of the clients that you work with, what would they say that you love or they love about your business? So what is you love, right? What is Ken loving about his business on a daily basis? And what are customers saying that they like about your business?
Okay. Well, personally, I enjoy the newness of it. Every shoot is something unique and new. So it's getting to experience and do something new every time. I also really enjoy being able to help people. I like to help realtors build their brand. Okay. I'm not after building my brand. I want to help realtors build their brand. Okay. So I do things like, I'm going to show up on time, professionally dressed with a pleasant, happy, friendly demeanor. I have very simple pricing schedules. You don't have to worry about figuring out how many square feet it is or anything like that. Just simple number of photos. Like a standard 2-3 bedroom house would probably take about 25 photos or so to accurately represent the property, both interior and exterior. I do have some ranges and numbers of packages, and if we start out with one particular package and then I get there and I do the shoot and the number of photos significantly changes, then we'll discuss and we'll adjust the invoicing properly, based on that. Now, as far as what some of my clients have said, you got to let me quote a couple of testimonials that I got, please.
Absolutely. Okay. Go ahead.
So this one here is from Maren Kuhn, who works for Keller Williams Flagship in Maryland. She said, Ken is great to work with, easy to schedule or reschedule as needed, patient and gets photos and other media out quickly. My sellers are always comment on how great he was with them and how stunning he makes their homes look for listing photos. Okay. And then another great client of mine, Miss Shailey Sharma from eXp Realty Now. You said Ken is one of the greatest people to work with. He is super efficient and has a keen eye for detail to make each home look the very best. We can't thank Ken enough for being so accommodating with every photo shoot. We'd 100% recommend Ken for anyone who needs real estate photography. So thank you for those comments there.
No, and I still stick by them, because you have been very flexible. I know we haven't had the easiest shoots. Some of them have been very interesting, and we've had to juggle a lot of things, people, client schedules, as we always do, right? We're accommodating and flexible with our business. But working with you has definitely been a joy whenever we've done work together. So I thank you again.
yeah, thank you, and that's mutual, Shailey. You're very easy to work for, actually.
Thank you. All right, so let's dive a little bit deeper and kind of talk about when you first started. What was it like in terms of 2020? I know we were still maybe a lot of precautions were going on. Was that something challenging for your work, or what were some of the other challenges that you might have faced that you want to share with us?
Okay, well, certainly starting out, I just started out with just photos because I had a decent camera lens to do that work. And so with very minimal additional investment into a good tripod and things like that, I was able to get started with the real estate photography. And of course, being nervous, right? Making sure I'd produce a good enough product for my clients, and double, triple checking everything to make sure I was doing it right. And of course, initially there, what now only takes about an hour and a half or so on site to get an appropriate number of photos was taking me well over 2 hours, early on, just sweating and making sure that everything was going to be as good as possible, right? COVID really wasn't too much of an issue for me, actually, because, just taking the proper precautions, the CDC guidelines, wearing a mask, and gloves if I needed to, shoe covers, and keeping socially distanced, all that seemed to work out fine for me.
Thank you for sharing that. So I obviously the learning curve was there. That's what I'm hearing. A little bit of learning curve and wanting to, because you wanted to be efficient and wanted to actually give the best results, right? So need a need for perfection and really wanting to serve your clients the best way possible. That was essentially the learning curve.
Right.
What is something that clients or customers or viewers don't know about your business that you would like to share? What is something?
Okay. Well, personally, I think that real estate photography is a highly customer service oriented business. All right. Yeah, we produce products that the clients can use. But to be successful in real estate photography, I feel you need to have repeat customers and also referrals to help grow your business some. And so, you're not going to get really much of either of those if you don't provide exceptional customer service. So that's my whole focus in dealing with clients. Make your realtor life as simple and easy as possible.
Yes. And that makes our clients' lives, our sellers' lives easier. Sure. And of course gets them biggest bang for their buck, right? So that's what we're about. We want to offer them the best service. Excellent. Right. And
Shailey, another thing too, for a while there, especially like last year and the year prior, was a very hot market, almost like a seller's market. And, a lot of realtors were saying, why should I even bother with professional photos? I could just snap some pictures with my camera and the property will sell in like 1 or 2 days. But the thing that I would caution realtors about that situation is, okay, fine, yeah, for that particular property, that might work. But what you're doing is you're establishing yourself for that next client, okay? People are going to be looking for realtors to sell their home. And if you could present that you care enough to provide professional photography to make sure that the house shows its best, I mean, that's a benefit for you as a realtor.
Absolutely. Very well said. And that's so key in branding oneself as a professional and what service you're bringing to your clients. So thank you for making that point. Sure. What else is exciting about your business exciting that's coming up that you want to share with all of us? Any new things that you have lined up? Or I know you do a lot. You did mention you do the drone photography and you go above and beyond. And what I personally like about your services on the website is, Ken, you're so organized and so systematic in the way you deliver the photographs as well. And you'll make, one file for just the MLS and one file for other marketing. You make it so easy and you really do serve us with the best service. So I have appreciated that about your business, and your website is so easy to navigate as well. And we'll put a link over here so that people can visit you. But tell us, what else is exciting, or what other services would you be adding if there's anything?
Okay. As you well know, Shailey, I dabble a little bit with headshots for realtors.
Yeah.
I don't have or own a studio for that type of portraiture, so I like to do things outside, either in a park or even at a listing or in the realtor's office if they want. And you'll get a lot of different, everything from a full body shot to close-in headshots. And so that's another service that I can offer. The latest thing, of course, obviously is TikTok and Instagram Reels, these short little 1 minute complete walkthroughs, continuous walkthroughs of properties. So I've done a couple of those, and that's fun and interesting to do. That's, video is one of my newer areas, and that's something I've got to continue to improve on, not only shooting, but also the editing of the videos there. But one thing that I'm starting to see recently is a lot of photographers and realtors are starting to incorporate drone, 360-degree spherical photos into like 3D virtual tours, like a Matterport. So now, potential buyers can not only get a virtual tour inside the property, but then there'll be a link to take them outside and they can see a 3D virtual tour of the surrounding areas. Now, obviously, something like that would be probably best for like a really nice home with a lot of property, or in some interesting areas, like waterfront or near golf courses or things like that. So that's something new that I've looked into, and taking a look at. Also, from the drone aspect, I can also do photogrammetry. Now that's basically if a realtor just is trying to sell a lot of land, I can fly the drone around the property, and you end up with like a more updated, current, like Google Earth view of the property.
Okay. Okay.
So certainly not survey quality, okay, but
Yeah.
it like a Google Earth type thing, so
Okay.
because those photos in Google Earth, they tend to be outdated. So
Right.
this would give you a current picture of what to sell and post.
Wonderful. So while we're on the topic of drones, so talk to me about what does a realtor who's listening to this now, what would they need to keep in mind? Like, do we need to get permission from the seller, or do we need to get some specs done for you? Or I know this is a question that I've actually asked you before for a land property that we was going to go on sale, for a piece of land actually, that there were trees, and there were so many trees, and then there was a lot of acreage around. So I know we've spoken about that. So can you speak to a little bit about drone photography, and what are some things to keep in mind for when we're engaging you for that service?
Sure. Well, the location is of primary importance, because depending on how close the property is to like an airport, or military bases, or Washington, D.C., there are flight restrictions on drone flying. So that not all of them are no-fly zones, but some of them you have to apply for authorization to fly in that area ahead of time. So knowing as far in advance the address of the property, I can easily check to see if it falls into any of those restrictions, and also apply for the appropriate permissions ahead of time.
Love that. Thank you for sharing that. Super helpful. Okay, so enough about business. So tell us a little bit about where did you grow up, and a little bit about what you like to do in your free time.
Right.
So yeah.
Great. So I grew up in Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay.
My father was career Navy, but fortunately, that area, he was able to bounce around several of the naval bases in that area. So I didn't have to move really from the time from basically first grade all the way through high school, which was unusual for a military family.
Yeah.
So that was nice. But then, I went off to college, and after I graduated from college, I moved up here, started working for NSA, and spent all of my adult life here in the Maryland area.
So you can continue on with what are some of the things that Ken likes to do in your free time?
Okay, well, certainly I enjoy walking. So, I recently joined the American Folks March Association of Maryland, and also sign up to a couple of walking meetup groups. And I usually get out 2 to 4 times a week to walk some of the local parks and lakes around, like Lake Elkhorn, Trolley Trail number 9, which is down in Ellicott City. Those are favorite walks. Then up in the Owings Mills area, there's was it the Red Run Stream Valley Trail, and also Lake Roland up around there. So I enjoy doing that. And I guess, for me, it's all about being outside and in nature and enjoying the sights and sounds of everything that's going on. And kind of an offshoot of that is I've started to become a little interested in birding.
Okay.
Identifying different birds. Now, I'm nowhere near an expert on any of that, but
Yeah.
it's fun to do. And I do like to do things with my hands. I don't consider myself a crafty person by any means, but I'm starting to enjoy and explore basket weaving.
Oh, wow, how fun. That sounds fun. Yeah.
Really good experienced teacher, and she holds classes regularly and around the area. And so I've done one basket with her already, and signed up for another one on the 21st. So just some
Congratulations on that. That's so exciting. And of course, you and I share a passion for the walks and the hikes, of course. We've seen each other at Lake Elkhorn. We bumped into each other. So that was always a joy. And of course, our area, it has so much to offer in terms of there's Patapsco, there's, of course, 3 or 4 lakes within Howard County. and so many trails, and interconnected trails. Of course, we met at Savage Mill for one of our shoots, and so there's that trail. So I'm so glad that you're out and about. The weather is getting nicer. It's getting hot actually, but it's nice to it's nice to be out. You're absolutely right. I'm glad you've taken up new hobbies. That's excellent. So talk to us about any person in your childhood that has touched your life, or a memorable, you know how sometimes we carry people with us and it's like, okay, well, they're always kind of bits and pieces of them. Our parents, of course, family, but outside of family, who has had the most impact from your childhood?
Well, I had an English teacher in high school that basically taught me, beginning is half done, right? So if you don't wait for the last minute. Procrastination is one of those things that I fight with. But she taught, you just get started, and you're pretty much halfway done. And also, don't assume you're going to get it right the first time through, right? Iterate, review it, and refine it, at least one, probably two or three times even, until you get the best that you can do. So I think that was a big influence on how I approach things.
Wow. That's powerful. And of course, it's so true with what you're doing or in life in general, but also with, okay, the shoot, making it better or getting right. Anything that we want to do well, we have to, or if we want to excel at, it takes time, effort, and perseverance, right? So,
yes. So, and regarding the shoots, I do my own editing, because I'm
okay.
not easy enough to have to worry about outsourcing the editing, and I enjoy doing the editing. But along those lines, one of the things I have to fight is I have to keep reminding myself, look, these pictures don't have to be, magazine quality. It's going up to MLS. It's going to be viewed on a small little cell phone screen. So, make it look good, but then stop and go on to the next picture.
Yeah, you don't have to. Oh, yes, absolutely. Because we can sometimes obsess over our craft, right?
Right.
Yes. So good pointers there. What has been one or two of your best client experiences, or something that has really been a joy, that comes to mind?
Okay, well, I enjoy working with all the clients that I've had, honestly. Like I said, it's the newness of it. Each shoot has its own challenges and interests, I'd say. I haven't had any what I would consider odd requests yet.
Yeah.
But I guess one thing that did happen, though, is I was doing one shoot. The realtor and seller were both there, and I was shooting the backyard from the house looking out underneath a deck, right? And I just glanced up and noticed there were a couple of wasp nests, active wasp nests up there. So I brought it to the attention of the realtor and the seller, and I offered to spray the nests for them if they had some bug spray. So the realtor immediately went out and bought some, and I came back. Now I can add exterminator as one of the certified.
Right. Hopefully you had a head covering and all of that, because we don't want to get bit.
No, I stayed far enough away. They were.
All right, excellent. Wow, that's an interesting story. So we're coming down to the end of our session here, Ken. And where can our viewers find you? How do we get in touch with you? Do tell us.
Okay, certainly, probably the best way would be to go to my website. I know you'll post a link, but it's kenthelenmedia.com. And at the bottom of every page on that website, there is a contact information, both a phone number and email address. You're perfectly fine calling, although I would caution it'd probably be better to text me, because, with the prevalence of robocalls and spam calls these days, if I don't recognize the number, I tend to just let it go to voicemail, right? And so, and you can certainly leave a voicemail message. That's no problem there. But texting would be a little quicker.
Okay.
You could also direct message me through Instagram if you'd like.
Okay.
So,
what's your Insta handle? So what is your Insta handle?
Ken Thelen Media.
Okay, excellent. Are you also on Facebook, and can we find you on LinkedIn and Facebook as well? We'll add those.
No, not so much. I've got a Facebook account, but I don't really keep that current. That's another thing I need to work on. I need to be more engaged with social media to get out there more. But Yeah,
Yes.
Instagram and the website are the best ways to get a hold of me.
Okay, excellent. Well, I thank you so much for speaking with me today. And I know that our viewers have actually gotten to know you a little bit better and definitely would love to engage you with with your services for their needs. And I'm looking forward to continuing our relationship, of course. So thank you, Ken.
Well, thank you very much, Shailey. I really appreciate the time. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. As usual, working for you is always a lot of fun and enjoyment. So best of luck and hope to be in touch again.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so there you have it.
All right.
It was lovely talking to Ken. And if you know of anybody who is wanting to be featured on the website, or if you know of anybody who has real estate needs, do not hesitate to reach out. I'm always here for my clients. Thank you so much, and until next time, this is Shailey Sharma with eXp Realty signing off for Building Connections.